Hello, everybody. Oh, good, you're alive. Now, before I start, would you please do me a favor? Would you all stand up? Now, I want you to give each other a hug. Those hugs that you give to each other are the most important thing in the world. Arms are for hugging, not for killing. And you must forgive the way I'm dressed because they lost my luggage. I intended to come in here with a ball gown and knock you all on the floor because I'd look so glamorous. I guess the airlines had another plan for me. I am so honored to be here, and I'm not saying that in any superficial way whatsoever, because to be among young people is to be among the heart of the world that pumps and pumps, because I was once young. You don't believe it? I was a very young woman when I won the Nobel Peace Prize. I was only 31 years old, and it was scary. It was really frightening. You had Archbishop Tutu here last week, and he's one of my beloved friends. And I remember him telling me about the apartheid, what was going on in South Africa during apartheid. And I joined that work almost 35 years ago, and I've worked with Archbishop Tutu from then until now. But the day he voted, he was 63 years old, and in his own country. And I was teaching in a university in Texas, and I sent a little fax to the Arch, and I said, because I couldn't stop crying. I was watching the television, and there was this wonderful man who is God's love personified, whichever God it may be, whatever God we think we know, or profess to even think about being a God. He is everything that is spiritual, encompassed in one little human being. And he goes around the world just putting little bubbles of spiritualism on everybody he touches. And I sent him a fax, and I said in my fax, Archbishop, sitting here with the tears pouring down my face, can't believe you're voting. About 2 hours later, I got a fax back from him saying, dry your tears, you crazy Irish woman. I think the appropriate word is yippee. I'm not very good at writing long-winded, academic, intellectual lectures because I think they're an act of violence. Have you had to sit through those as students? You know the ones you go... I don't deliver those kind of lectures. What I try to say, with no disrespect to any man in this room, because I love men. Please don't get me. I have the most beautiful husband, gorgeous sons, yada, yada, yada. But to the women of the world, I say, you are the givers of life. It is your duty to become the protectors of that life. When people ask me why I started a peace movement in Northern Ireland, it was very simple for me. Their names were Deborah and Paul, my children. I did not want my children to be brought up in a society that taught them nothing, only hatred, violence, discrimination. I, as a Catholic living in Northern Ireland, was rather like the people of Sahara, the people of South Africa. I knew exactly what injustice was all about. But I watched them in Ireland trying to face injustice with violence. And you know, when you get into that sickening cycle of useless violence, all you do on a daily basis is become more and more destructive. And the creative side of this brain closes down. But when you encompass, when you say to somebody, I love you, you're probably saying that to your husband or your child, but when you tell the human family, I love you enough to fight that you will be at peace, because peace is a fight. Peace is not for sissies. Peace is not rainbows or doves. You can pray for peace. You can march for peace. You can scream for peace. You can do whatever. You've got to work for it. Number one, in anything we do in the field of justice, freedom, and peace is hard work. And having said that, there's someone tonight, you can't see her standing beside me. She's the most beautiful lady from Burma. We call her our missing laureate. Her name is Daw Aung San Suu Kyi of Burma. Now there's courage. That is courage of the most extraordinary kind. Nelson Mandela and Daw Aung San Suu Kyi. People who were incarcerated and are incarcerated because of their beliefs. Every one of us sitting in this room can do something to make somebody's life a little better on a daily basis. Even today now, I arrived in Copenhagen and I was running to the airport to get, now I can't run very fast at my age, but I was doing my best. Fine. The legs going like it. And I saw this little old lady just trying to get herself, she was shuffling to go along, and I walked over and said, can I help you? And she said, oh, thank you, the first person who asked. Just a person, everywhere you go, somebody has a little pain going on. If you take enough time to look at humanity, then you will say, we have a simple message for the world from this movement for peace. We want to live and love and build a just and peaceful society. We want for our children, as we want for ourselves, our lives at work, at home, and at play, to be lives of joy and peace. We recognize that to build such a life demands of all of us dedication, hard work, and courage. We recognize, every one of us recognize, that every bullet fired and every exploding bomb makes the work of peace more difficult. But we reject the use of the bomb and the bullet and all the techniques of violence. And we dedicate ourselves to working with our neighbours, near and far, day in and day out, to building that peaceful society, like the young woman receiving the prize this evening, to building that peaceful society in which the tragedies we have known are a bad memory and a continuing mourning. Thank you.